Alrighty, I'm gonna take an image here, a live stack of the Crescent Nebula. You can just barely see it in the middle of the screen right now, but that's only a 10-second exposure. So I got it set up to take um, 300-second exposures, no limit. That means it'll go until I shut it off. And let's hit this button here on the right, and it's taking a 5-minute exposure, which is 300 seconds. And then it's going to save it. On the screen, you'll see the Crescent Nebula here in 5 minutes. And then as soon as it shows up on the screen, it'll start taking another 300-second exposure, and it'll stack both of them together. So you see it get brighter. And then when it gets done stacking those two, it'll take another 300-second exposure, and it'll save it, and it'll stack it on top of the other two, and it'll keep going until I shut it off. So let's let it go. I'll put it on fast forward, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what it does. So let's let it go. I'll be back when it gets almost done. All right, we got, according to the right-hand side of the screen, we got 14 seconds to go before it displays, before it stops taking the first image. And then a couple of seconds after that, it'll display it up on the screen. It just finished shooting the image, and you see in the bottom right-hand corner, it'll say it's loading up right there. And there it is on the screen. That's the first 5-minute image of the Crescent Nebula, shot in H alpha. That's why you can see all that dust and stuff over to the right. You see a bunch of dust. And if we click on the bottom left-hand corner, it looks like the Big Dipper symbol over there. I click on that, and that's what it's taking a photograph right there. You can see that it's dead center, and that's the angle that my camera is positioning right now. So let's go back, and it's taking another 5-minute image. It's 235 seconds to go, and you can see on the left-hand side, the upper left-hand side, it says it's my guiding. Let me click on that. That's my auto guider. You see that box on the left-hand side. What the auto guider does is it tries to keep that star in the center of that box there on the left-hand side. And you can see all the other stars have a little circle around them. It's trying to keep those stars in the center. And you can see that graph on the bottom. If the star moves a pixel down, then this auto guider would tell it to move 1 pixel up, so it stays dead center. Same thing if it detects that it's moving 1 pixel to the right, the auto guider will tell the scope, hey, move 1 pixel to the left. That's what those red and blue lines mean on the bottom. Every time you see one of those things, that graph move is trying to keep the star dead center in the center of the screen. That way you get pinpoint stars without getting any star trails. Probably don't know what I'm talking about, but you need to auto guide. If you don't auto guide, see how round the stars are in the image? The mounts are not perfect, no matter how expensive they are. They're not 100% perfect. And the stars will drift, either left and right or up and down. So the auto guider compensates for that drift. So if the star moves a little bit to up, then it'll tell her, hey, move a little bit down. Or if it moves a little bit to the left, it'll tell her to move a little bit to the right. That way the stars stay nice and pinpoint while I'm taking the image. So anyway, I'll let it run and see when it's almost done. It's got 90 seconds to go. And it's going to display the next image. You see that top box in the top right so far is stacked. It's only got one image, so that's why it says stacked number 1. So it's only one image. When it stacks the second image, it'll say 2 stacked. And that no limit thing means it's going to keep going until I turn it off. You can set the limit. Let's say you want to just shoot for 2 hours, 5-minute images for 2 hours. When I set it up, I could set it up to image as long as I want. Or no limit means I have to shut it off. So it's got 30 seconds to go. And on the bottom, it tells you from left to right, it tells you the size of the image, 4,000 by 4,656 by 3520. That's the size of the frame. And then the gain of the camera is 139. And then 14 degrees Fahrenheit is what I got it cooled to. Here we go. It's 3 seconds to go before it stacks the first one. It just finished taking the picture. Now look in the bottom right, and it'll start stacking it here shortly. There it goes. It's loading up the image, and you saw it got a little bit brighter. So that's 2 pictures stacked on top of each other. You see on the top right it says stack 2. So I'm going to let this run. I'm going to stop recording and let it run for a while and come back and show you what it looks like with maybe 10 images stacked. Okay, this is 16 images of the Crescent Nebula, and each image is 5 minutes long, so that's about an hour and 20 minutes worth of data. And it took all those 16 images and stacked them on top of each other, and this is what it looks like. The scope did all the work. I haven't done anything. I didn't do any of the stacking. The stacking is all done automatically by the Asiair, which is a little computer that's bolted to the side of the mount. All I did was Bortle align the mount when I first put it outside, and then I told it to, once it was aligned, I told it to go to the Crescent Nebula, which is this object right here, and then I told it to start taking 5-minute images through a H-alpha filter. And that's what it looks like right now. I'm going to let it run, and I'll probably let it run all night, which is probably another couple of hours. The problem with my house is that I got a very limited view of the night sky because of my roof in the front on the east side of the sky, and then on the west I got a real tall tree. So I only got about 3 hours worth of imaging, and then I have to do it again, either start in a different object or just shut it down and start again the next day. And you may want to know why I shoot in black and white. First of all, my camera is a black and white camera, And you can't take pictures in colors with it. You have to use filters in front of the camera. Like if I want to make this into a color photo, I have to take 5 minutes exposures through a red filter, and then another 5 minute exposure through a green filter, and then another 5 minute exposure through a blue filter. And then I take a bunch of those, and then I combine those in imaging software, and it'll turn it into a color picture. But I don't have that much time, and I just like the H alpha because it brings out the most detail on the nebulas. And occasionally I'll shoot in color, but most of the time I just shoot in black and white. One of these days, if I had a color camera hooked up right now, then it would take a color picture. But my camera's black and white, and it would take me more than one night of imaging this object to get it to take enough photos to get a nice looking colored photograph. So I'm gonna just shoot in black and white, at least for now. Anyway, it's almost done taking the 17th photo. When it stacks it hardly makes any difference because I got so many stacked already. But if you keep going till you get, twice as many as I got now, 30 pictures, then it'll get a little bit brighter and a little bit less noise. So it's got 5 seconds to go. Excuse me. It's got 1 second to go. It just started the next one, and it takes it a few minutes to load up. You can see it on the bottom right hand corner. There it goes. It's loading it up, and it just stacked another one, but you could hardly tell. But they add up. If you keep going, it'll add up. Plus, this is only the computer stacking its own pictures. If I manually stack them, I could get a better image. Anyway, I'm gonna let her ride and go back inside the house. And thanks for watching. Maybe I'll come back later on and show you what the final looks like.